Alexander Hamilton.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do the Hamilton book tag that was created by Maureen, and that's the name of her channel as well, and I'll link all that down below. And sorry, I would do the whole like sing along kind of bits in between when I mention the songs, but I don't know how to do that because I'm new to the whole editing thing, so sorry about that, but oh well, I'm still going to do the tag, so enjoy! The first question is for the song The Room Where It Happened. The question is, what book world would you put yourself in? I would put myself in the world from Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rush. I think the Winter Kingdom from this book would be really fun to live in because winter all the time, snow and pretty coldness everywhere, and I really don't like hot weather and being hot, and living in Australia it's always hot really, so yeah, I think winter would be great, except it may get too cold and I may go to the Autumn Kingdom instead, but yep, I just think that the whole idea of the season kingdoms is really fun, and Theron is there, so yeah, I will go there to meet Theron. The next question is for the song The Schuyler Sisters, and the question is underrated female character, and I think that Sophie from The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare is kind of underrated sometimes because everyone just thinks Sophie is a nice simple maid, sweet maid who isn't really capable of fighting or defending herself, but she really is. Like, she lives with the shadow hunters and she fights battles with them, and eventually she even becomes one herself, and I just think sometimes she might get a little underrated just because she just seems like a simple maid, but she's not. So for this question I could also mention Drew from Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, because Drew from this book seems like such a sweet, like, innocent girl, but she wants to join in all the Shadowhunter battles, and she likes horror movies, and she seems kind of underrated because you don't really think about her much, but oh well. 2 answers for 1 question. Next question is using the song My Shot, and the question is a character that, sorry, I'm reading the question from my computer, excuse me for that, but question is a character that goes after what they want and doesn't let anything stop them. And honestly, I could use Mayra from Snow Like Ashes, but I've already used this book, so I'm gonna say Cinder from The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Sorry, I only have the physical copy of Cinder and of Cress and Winter, so sorry, I'll just hold up Winter instead. Because Cinder, like, she doesn't let anything stop her. Like, she's a cyborg in a world with a lot of prejudices about cyborgs, and she has a whole bunch of people hunting after her, but she doesn't let that stop her at all, and she just fights anyone that gets in her way to get what she wants. So yeah. Question 4 is Stay Alive, and the question is a character that you wish was still alive. And spoilers, if for some weird reason you haven't read or haven't seen the movies for Harry Potter, so you probably have, but if you haven't, spoiler alert for Deathly Hallows. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch this question. My answer, you may have guessed, but my answer is Fred Weasley. Why? Why did he have to die? Poor George. Poor George is on his own. He's twin. Like, you never think of them on their own, and they need to be together, and oh, my George, why? The next question is for the song Burn, which I myself love that song, and anyway, and the question is the most heartbreaking end to a relationship. Slight spoilers for Lady Midnight, so if you haven't read that yet, don't watch this, but my answer is Emma and Jules' relationship from Lady Midnight, and although I know it technically hasn't properly ended, they're probably not their relationship's probably not over, but at the end of the book when Emma breaks up with him and it hurt my heart so bad, and they're just so perfect for each other, and I know that the whole parabatai thing, but like I ship them so hard the whole time reading this book, and I want them to stay together. Question 6 is for the song You'll Be Back, and the question is Sassiest Villain, but I honestly looked for a book to answer this question with, but I honestly can't think of any. So there's probably a whole lot of sassy villains in a lot of different books, but I honestly can't think of any, so I'm just gonna skip this question, sorry, but I can't think of any, so moving on. Question 7 is for the song The Reynolds Pamphlet, and the question is a book with a plot twist you didn't see coming. I know I've used this book for like 2 questions already, but I just finished it and it's so good. So my answer is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I'm not going to go into too much detail for the people who haven't read this book, but there's so many plot twists in there that you don't see coming. If you've read this book, you know which ones I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure. But this, like every Cassandra Clare book, this book has so many plot twists and you never see them coming. She's just so good at writing in plot twists like that. And you should always see the clues leading up to it throughout the book, but you don't notice until after you find out the plot twist. Oh, so good. Everyone read this book, by the way, it's great. Question 8 is for the song Non-Stop, and it is a series that you marathoned. And my answer for this question, I honestly could say The Mortal Instruments, because I pretty much marathoned Cassandra Clare's books in the last couple of months, but I've already answered that for a lot, so I'm going to instead say the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. And I read the first book, The Lightning Thief, I read about 2 years before I continued the series. Don't know how that happened because they're amazing, but then I randomly decided to keep going sometime and I just pretty much marathoned and binge read the rest of the series, and it is so good and so amazing. If you haven't read it, where have you been? Read it now. They're so good. Question 9 is for the song Satisfied. Question is favourite book with multiple point of views, and I know I just mentioned Percy Jackson, but my favourite book, or series really, with multiple point of views is Heroes of Olympus by Rick Riordan. They're just so good because I love history and Greek mythology, and like cause in Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus there's just so much Greek mythology built into amazing stories, and all the like Percy and Leo with their sarcastic like sassiness, and they're just so funny and easy to read, and they're just so good. And Percabeth, I ship them so hard. They're so good. Question 10 is for Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story, for that song. And the question is a book or series that you think will be remembered throughout history. The obvious answer is obviously Harry Potter, but I feel like a lot of people say that, so I'm going to say The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, because honestly this story is so good and so amazing, because so many people have heard of it and read it and loved it, and honestly I think that even in like 100 years people will still be reading this book because it's just that good. So yeah, Book Thief. And Maureen, she has some bonus questions, so let's move on to those ones. Question 1 of the bonus questions is about the song Helpless, which is another one of my favourite songs. Question is a relationship that you are pulling from the start, and my answer to this question is Anne and Gilbert from Anne of Green Gables. I just love their relationship, they're so cute, and even from the beginning when they were like arguing with each other, slight spoilers, sorry, but when they started to argue with each other and then you know, and Anne kept ignoring him, but like you could tell they really liked each other even from the start. They're just so perfect for each other, and I just shipped them so hard even from the start. So yep. Question 2 of the bonus questions is for the song 10 Jewel Commandments. The question is favourite fight scene. Like, I'm never really the biggest fan of fight scenes, so I don't really have a favourite fight scene, but like, does the Battle of Hogwarts from Deathly Hallows count? I guess so, so Battle of Hogwarts. And question 3 of the bonus questions is for Say No to This, and the question is favourite guilty pleasure read, and I honestly don't really have any guilty pleasure reads, but a lot of people seem to not like all the cliches that are in John Green's books, like The Fault in Our Stars. A lot of people don't like them so much because of the cliches and because they're just so popular, or a lot of people are turned off them for some reason, but I myself love them, so oh well. I guess this is my answer for that question. Hi, sorry, my camera cut out. So sorry if it's a bit, angle's a bit different, sorry. As I was saying, also Harry Potter, I want more Harry Potter books, obviously, like pretty much every other person. And question 5 of the bonus questions is for the song Right Hand Man, and the question is favourite bro TP, and my answer, I don't have a physical copy because there aren't any, but mine would be Simon and George from Tales of Shadowhunter Academy, because they're just so great. They're like such great friends with each other, and it's just so cute, and like I just love them as friends. I don't like ship them for like getting together or anything, or for parabatai or anything, but which I think they probably would have made good parabatai anyway, but I just think they're such good best friends. And I won't mention exactly what happens, but there's a spoiler in the last Tale of Shadowhunter Academy novella, and if you've read that one, Angels Twice Descending, you know what happens at the end of it, and it hurt my heart so bad. But yeah, I think Simon and George, they're just so good as best friends. The last question for this tag is for the song What Did I Miss, and the question is book or series you were late reading, and my answer is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I know I wasn't really allowed to read it when I was younger because Christian. I live in a Christian family, and they were a bit strict about what to read and things like that, so I wasn't allowed to read this sooner, but I'm reading it now, and I'm still on Order of the Phoenix, so don't spoil me, but I've seen the movies though, so I still kind of know the major spoilers, so it's alright. But yeah, I really wish I'd read this sooner though, because it's so good. So amazing. So this is it for the Hamilton tag for me, so if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want, and hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Bye.
What's your name, man? Alexander Hamilton.